They say that every 100 years, deep within the Whisperwind Forest, a grand feast is held in the ruins of an abandoned castle. The castle is surrounded by an impenetrable thicket so thick that no sunlight can penetrate it. For 100 years, the trees have whispered secrets to one another, rustling stories of the past to anyone who will listen. Some say this forest holds more magic per acre than any other place on Earth, and deep within its emerald depths lies a crumbling stone keep, the last vestige of House Corvus. No one knows why the family left or what happened to them, but every night for 100 years, the shadows in the great hall of the castle have danced for an audience of none. That is, until tonight. What secrets do the whispering trees hold? What horrors occurred here 100 years ago? And how can our heroes escape the clutches of the Shadow King? Find out now on D&D Beyond Presence. Welcome back, everybody. It's me. This is the first episode of a new series called The Feast of Shadows. And if you're joining us for the very first time, let me explain what's going on. Basically, every 100 years, a grand feast is held in the ruins of an abandoned castle where shadows dance without their owners. When the Raven King holds his court in the crumbling hall of House Corvus, guests who join the banquet find their reflections gone when they return home. In today's adventure, we are playing Shadow Puppets. Oh. There is a haunted castle in the woods near your home city. People have tried to explore it, but they always end up coming back with missing memories or worse. We need someone to go into this castle and figure out what's going on. Our first adventurer is Solus, played by a returning guest star, the Tiefling Sorcerer. Solus has been struggling with a dark power inside him, trying to make sense of nightmares he's having about a forgotten past. He seeks to understand his heritage and the source of his powers. Joining him is Kira, the Kenku rogue, whose clan was hired by Solus to guard him on his journey. The two traveled together for weeks until they came upon the haunted castle. After hearing stories from locals, Kira wanted to investigate. Anya, played by our returning guest star, is a half-elf paladin, a devoted cleric of the god of light, who seeks to vanquish evil wherever she finds it. She came across the rumors of the haunted castle while traveling and felt compelled to investigate. And finally, there is Orion, the halfling bard, cheerful and optimistic. While he doesn't believe in ghosts, he loves a good mystery and hopes there might be a fun story to sing about this haunting. Now, before we get into the adventure, I want to introduce you all to this week's special guest, the Shadow King, played by yours truly. See, the thing is, I am also the dungeon master of this game, and I also play the villain, so I'm going to need you all to suspend your disbelief just a little bit and imagine that I am not, the guy running the game, but rather a mysterious entity known as the Shadow King. Okay? All right? Let's go ahead and jump into the adventure. The four adventurers have made their way to the base of the Whisperwind Forest. All around them, ancient trees seem to twist and writhe like the gnarled fingers of some great, forgotten entity reaching for the sky. The path ahead is lost beneath a carpet of dead leaves, and the air grows still, heavy with anticipation. As they pass through the outer ring of trees, the canopy above opens slightly, revealing a crumbling stone keep in the distance. Vines and ivy cling to its ancient stones, and a weathered banner bearing a raven's skull still flies from its highest tower, despite the absence of any wind. Anya, what does your character do? As my party makes their way into the woods, I want to set a somber tone, almost like they're entering into a sacred space. Nature is incredibly powerful here. I'm gonna ask each of you to make a nature check. So roll a d20, add your proficiency bonus, and then add whatever modifiers you think your character would have to this check. Okay, so that was pretty cool. You guys all notice, as you make your way deeper into the forest, that the trees seem to be whispering to each other. Like there's this sort of rustling in the leaves, even though there's no wind. You feel like the forest itself is warning you to turn back, but you press on. Kira, What does your character do? I want to transition to a scene where the party comes across some ruins, maybe some remnants of what used to be a grand house. They come across some clues that something strange is happening here, and we shift from the third person to the first person perspective. You push aside a curtain of ivy, revealing a moss-covered statue of a knight clad in rusted armor. His sword is broken, his shield shattered at his feet, and his expression frozen in a silent scream. Around him, the ground is littered with the bones of animals and the faint etchings of arcane symbols. But it's the feeling of oppressive dread that lingers in the air, making the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. A chill wind whips through the crumbling structure, carrying with it the scent of decay and the distant sound of laughter. A shadow flickers at the edge of your vision, but when you turn to look, there is nothing there. You shake off the unsettling feeling and continue exploring the ruins, determined to uncover the secrets of this forgotten place. You hear a sudden crash in the trees behind you, and you spin around, weapons drawn, but see nothing. Just as suddenly, a guttural voice echoes through the ruins. Who disturbs the slumber of House Corvus? The voice seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, sending shivers down your spine. The shadowy figure steps into view, and you see it is a tall, gaunt humanoid with skin as black as night and eyes that burn with an eerie green glow. Its limbs are twisted and elongated, and it moves with an unnatural grace. The creature's gaze fixates on you, and you feel a surge of primal fear. "Foolish mortals," it hisses, its voice dripping with disdain. "You have trespassed in a place where shadows hold court. Now you shall face the wrath of the Shadow King." The Shadow King raises its hand, and you feel a wave of shadowy energy wash over you. All right, we're gonna pause the action for just a moment and take a quick break. We're back. The Shadow King is advancing on the party, oozing darkness and malice. With each step he takes, tendrils of shadow reach out from the ground, seeking to ensnare and bind the party. As the Shadow King prepares to strike, you notice a small opening in the nearby wall. If you could just reach that alcove, you might be able to squeeze through and hide. Anya, what does your character do? That is amazing. However, as you slink through the narrow passageway, the bricks crumble beneath your feet and the ceiling collapses behind you, blocking your escape. The Shadow King advances, his grin widening, revealing sharp, pointed teeth. The stench of decay and death fills the air, making it hard to breathe. You can see fear and determination on your allies' faces. Solus stands defiant, his staff raised, while Kira prepares an arrow, her bow taut. Orion stands bravely, singing a battle hymn to bolster their courage. What will you do? Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Feast of Shadows. If you did, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. In the meantime, you can catch our regular series every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Until next time, I wish you all a wonderful day.